Tyra, come on up. This is B15-519-168. We took a short recess. We want to forge ahead with the testimony. Mr. Root, you said that you were going to call Mom in your case in chief. I'm just going to remind Mom that after Mr. Root has asked you questions, you're going to be able to testify both on the issues that Mr. Root asked you about and issues that you think are important for the court to understand. Okay?
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Be seated.
Okay.
Begin, Your Honor?
Of course, sure.
Ma'am, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. You received the court's March 9, 2016 order, right?
I believe so.
Okay, and you received it, the notice of entry says it was sent to your attorney on March 9. When did you receive the order? Yourself?
I received, which order are we talking about? There's
The March 9, 2016 order?
March 9, 2016. I can't, I don't know exactly.
Okay.
I mean, there's so many of them, it's confusing for me.
And do you recall that there was an order that Jason was to have Dustin for spring break last year?
Yes.
Spring break started on March 19th and continued through March 27th. Is that right?
Yes.
And Carol tried to pick up Dustin on March 19th, right?
Yes.
And you didn't let her do that.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry, sir. On March 19th?
Yeah.
That was for spring break. Now, I'm not, I need to refresh my memory of March 19th for spring break.
Do you recall Carol's testimony on the stand?
I know of the most recent one that we've had is...
No, the one before that, on March 19th.
I'm trying to, okay, March 19th. I recall her testimony, yes. Can I explain something right fast, please?
Well, I just kind of like you to
Okay.
answer my question. Carol testified that on March 19th, she comes over and you won't give her Dustin.
Yeah, I don't remember this.
Oh, okay. Did Jason get Dustin for spring break last year?
No, he didn't, but he did refuse his own visit.
Well, can I ask you why you didn't give Dustin to Carol?
Right now I'm having a real hard time remembering the spring break.
Well, then, if that's the situation, let me ask you, do you remember the events of March 19th to March 20th, 2016?
2016 for spring break. He did get him. Oh, no, he denied his own visit. He wasn't coming to get him. We've had quite a few altercations.
Okay, I don't think you're answering my question.
Okay,
I don't want you to testify to things you don't remember.
okay,
So my question is one of your personal knowledge.
okay.
Do you remember the events, Carol coming over on March 19th, 2016, trying to get Dustin?
No, I don't believe she came over to get Dustin on March 19th. I'm remembering the Nevada day when she could pick him up from school.
Okay, that's a little bit different deal. That's in October. And right now we're in March.
Okay, I don't have no memory of her coming over to pick up Dustin any other time except for Nevada day.
Okay. Do you have a memory of Jason coming on March 20th?
I do
to pick
remember
up
him
Dustin?
coming when he was driving a white.
Okay.
truck.
Did you give?
Now I'm remembering. Okay,
Oh, okay. Can you please wait until I answer the question,
Okay.
just so we can have a clear record? Do you remember Jason coming to your house on March 20th, 2016 to pick up the boy?
I believe it was on the 21st because he was a day late for that visit. He did not come, he did not call, he did not notify me, but he did show up in his truck. Carol had never came over through that time.
Did you give Dustin to Jason when he came over?
No, I did
And
not,
Can
but,
you explain to the court why you didn't?
okay. Now, I will explain. He showed up on a Saturday night. It was Saturday night, and I have the actual police report because he did show up at the police. If I give this
Just
to?
answer the question.
Okay, he showed up with the police telling them that I was on meth and marijuana. It was basically a welfare check because he was a day late for his visiting.
Okay, may I approach the witness, Your Honor?
With what?
A calendar?
Yes.
Ma'am, I'd like you to show you my old pocket calendar for 2016, and it says that Saturday, there was a Saturday on March 19th.
Because his
Could that have
visitation
been-
was on Friday.
Could that have been the Saturday you're talking about?
I'm not sure, I don't have any of my paperwork in front of me. But
Well,
I-
you can see that Saturday, March 19th, 2016 is a Saturday.
yes, yes.
So Jason comes over on Saturday. Did he leave, just bottom line, did he leave with the child?
No, he did not, but I never
Did you
denied him.
prevent, excuse me, did you prevent him from taking Dustin that day?
No, I did not. No,
So you
Absolutely
didn't
not.
leave with Dustin, but you didn't prevent him.
no, I didn't.
Did you call Metro on him that day?
No, I did not.
Okay, can you explain why?
He called Metro.
I withdraw that question. All right. Now, the court in its decision on June 28, 2016, warned you that you were to follow the orders of the court in the future.
Yes,
Do you remember that?
yes.
Okay. I'd like to direct your attention to the March 9, 2016 order, page 19, lines 24 through 28. I'm going to represent to you what it says. It says, it's further word that it's subject to Jason's Vanburen visitation, specifically weekends, holidays. Jason Vanburen shall have Dustin for weekend holidays based on the following schedule, residential time to begin upon the release of school for the holiday period and to continue until the morning school resumes. And then it goes down to part F, Nevada, list holidays. F, Nevada Missions Day weekend, which I call Nevada Day.
Okay.
That's on page 19, line 24 through 28. Now, would you agree that the court's order for Nevada Day 2016 was pretty clear in its order?
It says that it would,
I want you to answer the question. That's pretty clear, isn't it?
yeah, it says the following
Thank
holiday
you. That's what
time.
I wanted to know.
Okay,
We both agree it's clear.
But-
Nevada Day was on October 28, 2016, right?
on Friday.
Well, again, would it be helpful to you for me to show you my book again? So you can have it. You can follow along with the dates. October 28th was Friday, right?
October 28th was Friday, yes.
That was Nevada Missions Day, right?
Yes,
There's no school that day, right?
right.
So logic would dictate that the day that the child would be released from school, the day there was school on October 27th, right?
Yes, there was.
And Dustin got out of school around 2:10 or so.
Yes,
Thank you.
but it states in
And based upon the order that you admitted was clear,
okay, so
the
Your Honor,
last day
I
of
mean,
school
Yeah, hold on
before
a second.
Nevada Day was
Hold on,
on.
hold on. Look, if she interrupts, it's just like an objection. What is your question?
okay, the court's order says that in the event that school is not in session, which it was not in session on Friday, the following holiday time will begin at 3 p.m. on Friday and continue until 9 a.m. on the first weekdays following the day.
Okay,
the
but
holiday.
listen to his question. Just answer his question.
Okay,
Okay, he asked you whether or not you complied with the order.
yes.
She is saying yes, and you're saying no. So just ask another question, please.
Was the last day of school before Nevada Day October 27th?
On a Thursday, yes.
Dustin was released from school on October 27th, 2:10, right?
Yes,
The day before Nevada Day, right?
yes.
Okay. Did Jason on October 25th, a couple days before, send you a text reminding you that the upcoming Friday was a holiday and Jason's mother would be picking up Dustin for visitation on Thursday, October 27th?
He did send a message, but he did not respond when I tried to reconfirm with him that his holiday
Did
visiting
Carol come over and did Carol pick up Dustin from school on October 27th?
yes.
Okay. Now, you heard her testimony, right?
Yes.
Did you call the school that day to attempt to prevent her from picking up Dustin?
Yes, I did.
But the school had Judge Ritchie's order, right?
Well, what the school told me was that,
Is that a yes or a no?
I'm sorry?
Did the school have Judge Ritchie's order?
Yes, they did.
And the school released Dustin to Carol, right?
Well, the teacher
Is
did.
that right?
The teacher did, yes.
Okay. And so she comes over to your place for the quantity.
No, she did not.
She didn't ask you for the
No,
quantity?
she did not. No, she did not.
I see. And did you call Metro on Carol that day?
After I confirmed that she had Dustin, yes, I did. And I tried to contact Jason too.
Did you allege to Metro that Carol has kidnapped Dustin?
No, I did not say that she had kidnapped him at all. That is not, now, I was upset and left messages to her. I said, did you know that is kidnapping? That is considered kidnapping? But no, I did not call the cops saying that she kidnapped him. I said that she simply picked him up for a visitation, that the father needs to communicate with me of what's going on, because what my belief of what I read for the holiday visit.
Okay, you've answered my question.
Okay.
Okay, Carol testified that let's cut to the chase. Carol testified that she had 2 reasons for coming over to your place that day.
She
First,
didn't come over.
well, do you recall her testimony that Carol testified the 2 reasons for her coming over to your place was to pick up the clonidine, that's what she claimed. That's what she claimed, right?
Right.
And number 2, because she was scared because you called the cops on her. Do you recall her testimony to that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. So when she arrived,
When she arrived.
did you take,
No, I did not take my
please
son out.
wait until I answer
Okay.
the question. She testified that when she arrived at your place, you took Dustin from her car. Is that true?
No, it is not true.
Well, how did Dustin get, excuse me. I'll move out. Was it your position that Carol did not have a right to pick up Dustin?
No, not at all. I give Dustin to Carol even on days that aren't for Jason. And I didn't see why there was a problem. I just needed the communication from Jason.
Did the police read to you that day the court's March 9,
No, they
2016
did not.
order? Did you have it?
I'm sorry?
Did you have the court's March 9, 2016 order that day?
Yes.
And you still refused to give Dustin to Carol?
I didn't refuse. I just was trying to get communication from Jason.
Did you have Carol trespass from your home?
Yes, I did at that point. Yes, I did.
Using the police?
I'm sorry?
Using the police?
Only because she was
No,
parked.
I asked you a question.
Yes.
Using the police?
No, what do you mean? Yeah, using the police. Yes.
And so, as it stands now, Carol cannot pick up Dustin from your home, right?
No, that's not true, sir. I could drop
Is the
the
trespass-
She's been inside my home numerous times ever since this.
Is the trespass?
I'm not gonna call the cops for no reason.
But there is a trespass, in effect.
Yes, there is a cross trespass. Yes, there is. And that was because of the distress it was putting on Dustin. She was parked right in front of the window.
Was Dustin present when,
He got out of the car,
All this
came,
was
ran in
occurred?
the house before me.
you're saying Dustin got out of the car
Yes,
himself?
yes,
You didn't tell him to?
no, no,
Did you remove Carol's name from the school records?
no, I did not remove it.
Did you ask that her name be removed?
We were trying to figure out why she was on the
Please answer
primary.
my question. Did you ask for Carol's name to be removed from the?
From the
school?
primary custodian, yeah.
Well, she was listed as emergency contact.
She was listed on the primary custodian.
Do you have evidence of that?
I don't on me today, no, I don't.
Well, are you aware that I have all of the school records?
Well, that's fine. I have a lot of them at my house. I don't have them all with me right now.
Can you point to a record which indicates Carol was listed as a primary custodian?
If I had my records on me, yes, I could.
Well, you have my records. Well, it'll take you too long to look.
Yeah,
But that's a lie, isn't it?
no, it's not. No, not at all.
Okay.
And
Wait a
there,
minute, there's no question. Now, all this happened in October in front of Dustin, right?
well, yeah. And that's what I was asking the grandmother not to do, is not to put don't bring my,
Are you stating that you removed Carol's name off the school records because she was listed as the primary custodian?
no, because she was getting involved with everything as if she was the parent, manipulating the teacher, telling them I'm bad, this and that. It's ever since the trespass happened, and the trespass, can I explain myself why the trespass happened? Dustin was falling asleep in class. This has been an ongoing problem since last year with Mr. Boxta.
So you admit removing Carol's name off the school document?
Me and the principal spoke. Sylvia, the secretary, she's the one who done that.
Excuse me, ma'am. I just want a straight answer from you.
I'm doing my
I
best to
asked
give you
you a
one.
simple question. Did you remove Carol's name off the school
I
document?
personally did not, sir. No.
Did you urge the principal to do so?
No, excuse me, yes, I did, off of the primary,
And your reason was
Custodian.
because
because she was getting involved where Jason is
you
dealing
resented
with
her
nothing
getting
dealing with
involved?
Dustin.
You resented Carol getting involved?
Yes, for the wrong reasons, yes.
Okay, do you have any problem with a grandmother wanting to be involved with a grandson?
Never, of course not. But for the wrong reasons, yes. As far as manipulating the teachers, or Jason's not taking care of nothing, he's handing everything to Carol, his custody, everything. Jason's not taking none of his duties. She's
Okay.
doing it for
At
him.
trial in February,
Okay?
I'm sure you remember your attorney's arguments, represented to the court that you would get Dustin to school, right?
Yes, and I do.
Okay. And that he would not miss significant amounts of time anymore.
Well, I was doing the best I can under his circumstances,
Okay.
yes.
And-
I mean, when the school calls me to come and get him,
didn't you represent to the judge that his grades would improve?
I don't believe that the grades would improve. He's doing the best that he's ever done right now. He's learning to read.
Well, let
He's
me ask you
reading.
something. How many days of school did Dustin miss last week?
Last week, 2, I believe, 2 or 3
Which
days.
days?
2 days.
Which
It was
days?
2 days. He
Which
had,
days?
which was Thursday and Friday, I believe.
And why was that?
He had a dental appointment and he had toothache.
Okay, well, let's slow this down. What day did he have a dental appointment?
It was Thursday, or
At what
Friday.
time? Thursday at what time?
Friday, he went Friday.
Okay, well then why did he miss Thursday?
Because his tooth was aching and hurting him, yes. I gave him child's Motrin, I got a dental appointment and got right in.
So you claimed that his teeth was hurting on Thursday,
He's gotta have
and
braces,
he had a
yes.
dental appointment on Friday, right?
Yes.
What time?
It was at, 1:30, I believe.
And what did they do?
They cleaned his teeth, and we scheduled another appointment, because he has to be sedated when he has dental work done. He has one cavity. They're putting braces. We're
So
getting
they
ready.
cleaned his teeth and what else?
They done x-rays to find out why his teeth were hurting. His teeth are cramped, and he's getting braces on the top front 4. They checked for the
What
adult
about
teeth.
this week? Has he missed any days in school this week?
No, nothing this week.
Is it true that you told the school not to let Carol work with Mr. Tomiano for Dustin's benefit?
No, that's not true. Never. Not
Is
for
it
his
true that-
benefit.
Is it
Never.
true that you prevented, since March 9th?
Never for Dustin's benefit. If they want to be
Excuse me,
involved,
There's no question before you, ma'am. Is it true that after March 9th, 2016, you blocked Mr. Tomiano from working with Dustin?
no, I did not. I blocked him from working with Dustin, no. No.
You didn't, your testimony is you didn't limit him in any way from working with Dustin.
No, how would I do that?
Well, did you tell the school district that you object to Mr. Tomiano observing Dustin?
After the trespass.
Is that yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. That was after March 9th, 2016, right?
I'm not sure of the dates. I'm not sure of the dates.
So sometime last year, right?
That was this year. That was this year.
Yeah.
Okay, sometime last
And
year,
it-
yes. After December 2017.
Right, and is it one of the reasons, now, Mr. Tomiano was helping Dustin, wasn't he?
Well, he would come over
Is
and
that yes
basically
or,
big
is
brother
that
him.
yes or no?
I can't give it a yes or no. Because he'd come over and talk with him. He spoke of doing things that he did not do with him. And my insurance, when I started having the neurofeedbacks,
Well, isn't it true that you objected to Mr. Tomiano because he testified at the trial in February?
excuse me, did I objected to what?
You resent Mr. Tomiano because he testified at the February
No.
trial?
No.
Okay. And is it true that you refused to allow Carol to work with Dustin?
To take Jason's responsibility? Yes.
Okay.
as far as
Didn't
Jason is
Dustin
not
like-
being involved with Dustin at all, at all.
Didn't Dustin like Mr. Tomiano?
Yeah, he likes playing basketball and stuff with him.
Okay. Now, you remember the exhibits I went through with Jason, showing a significant amount of absences by Dustin at school.
Which are not accurate.
Okay, but you recall those exhibits?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Would you agree that that's a significant amount of absences from school?
It would be if it was accurate, yes, sir.
Okay. Did you? Now,
And I have, most of them are doctor excused,
isn't
sir.
it your position that from here on, you are not going to let Carol pick up Dustin?
No, not at all.
Okay.
She gets to have
Did
him on
you
any
say-
day she asks me.
Did you say on date 11 through 13, specifically date 11, that Carol will never pick up Dustin again?
When I was angry, when he had a pneumonia and she picked him up without his medication, yes.
Well, she says you refused to give her that.
And that's not true.
All right. Did you threaten the school district? A teacher in the school district?
I believe, yeah, I threatened the teacher.
So as it stands now, you are trespassed from Clyde Cox, right?
No, not no more.
As of when?
As of last week, me and the principal have been in communication. They put me back on the class dojo
Okay.
to communicate with the teacher,
How long were you trespassed?
for about a month and a half.
Because you threatened them with bodily harm, is that right?
I threatened, I told the, can I say it straight?
I just want a yes
Answer
or
the
no answer.
question.
Okay, no, not with bodily harm.
Well, didn't you threaten to come down and put your foot up there, ASS?
Okay, yes, I did.
Isn't
To
that
the
a
teacher.
threat for bodily harm?
Okay, yes, yes, it is.
Now, would it be, I don't want to put words in your mouth, would it be fair to say that you take great issue with the school district's examination? Would you gave them your consent to do IEPs on Dustin, right? It's in writing.
With my involvement, of course.
Okay. And they found that he has emotional problems. Do you contest that?
Totally disagree with that,
Okay.
completely.
And they find that he doesn't have,
No,
well, let me answer the
Okay.
question.
I'm
They
sorry.
find that he doesn't have autism. Do you disagree with that?
That's a really difficult question to
I just want to
answer.
know if you agree or disagree with it.
I don't know if I can disagree or agree with
Well,
that.
haven't you've seen these.
I'm
haven't
trying to find out what it is that what the principal just stated to me yesterday.
Okay,
is-
I don't want to know hearsay
No, but
statements
sir,
from the principal.
You're asking questions that are really hard
I
when you
want
got a
to
child
know
that's
that as-
disabled.
Excuse me, you're not answering
Okay.
my question. It's a very simple question.
Okay,
You remember, we went through the exhibits, you communicated in writing, did
I
you
would say he
not?
has autism.
Would you please wait
Okay.
until I finish my question? You communicated in writing to the school district
Mhm.
that stating that Dustin has autism, true?
Yes,
And you did that several times, true?
yes,
And you've even applied for disability benefits or for Dustin this year, is that correct?
no,
Or a continuation based upon autism, right?
no. That's not
Well-
true, because they do an update every 3 years of a child that is disabled and receiving disability, but he has developmental
Children's
delays.
Chart?
He has a lot going on.
Ma'am, this is, you remember coming
That
to my
might be to
office?
some school if his blood pressure.
Do you remember coming
Just
to
check,
my?
hold on,
Oh.
Mr. Root, jeez. Why
I'm
can't
sorry.
you just, you should know that you have to have a pace for the stuff. Just check it, make sure it's not an emergency, will you
Okay.
please?
I'm sorry, it's not. They call me often for his blood pressure.
All right, next question.
Okay,
I'm sorry. Ma'am, do you remember coming to my office yesterday, end of
yes,
the day,
yes.
and you remember giving me a bunch of stuff?
I've been giving you everything I've got.
Okay.
Yes,
Now, one of the letters that you gave me was a letter dated January 24th, 2017.
yes,
Okay, you remember this letter?
yes. And the reason I gave
I
you
haven't
these,
asked you a question.
okay,
All right. Now, it would seem to be, it says, earlier you were notified that your child's disability claim was being reviewed to decide whether your child remains eligible to receive monthly benefits.
mhm,
Okay?
okay.
It doesn't say anything about autism in this letter, right?
Okay, but can you finish reading the
Could you
rest of the
please?
sentence, please? The
Okay?
very bottom where I have highlighted about the school not even responding to them. These are the kind of problems that I have with the school.
My question to you, ma'am,
Okay.
is, just wait for the question. Dustin, you applied for disability years ago for Dustin, for his ADHD,
It was
right?
3, yeah.
ADHD, right?
Yes,
Okay.
and insomnia.
At any time, he was not approved, he was never approved for autism, right?
He was approved for, no, not for, he was for developmental delays, he was approved,
My question to you is,
not for autism, no, not that I believe.
not
You
for
gotta
autism.
wait till the question's over, man, okay?
Okay,
So he was never approved for autism, right?
right,
And to date, he's never been approved for organic encephalopathy, is that right?
no, but that's new information we got.
Okay. Did you represent, you're sending this to who? Which government agency?
That's the one that's on the address.
Okay. Is there an application that you fill out?
No, they sent this
Paperwork?
to the school to fill out, and the school didn't even send it back, nothing.
Did you represent to the school district that Dustin has organic encephalopathy?
Yes, that's the report that I got from his EEG, sir.
Did the school district, have they agreed with you?
They haven't disagreed, no.
Wait a minute, I don't understand your answer.
Have they
school
agreed
district-
with me?
Has school district personnel found,
They haven't done, we're getting ready
Organic
to do another
encephalopathy.
IEP, they haven't agreed or disagreed.
all right. Did you represent to the government agency that Dustin has autism?
I don't believe so. Justin has developmental delays, he has expressive and
I'm
receptive
just asking
language.
about autism.
No, I didn't, I don't believe.
Did you represent to the government agency that handles his disability that
No, I didn't.
he has organic? Brain
Yes, I have.
Okay. What proof, if any, do you have of this?
Right here, I have the EEG. Just a minute.
Well, before you, I've
Right
got it.
here.
Ma'am, I've got it.
Okay,
Before we get, well, now that we're getting into that,
okay.
you take him to Balanced Mind Center, is that correct?
No, I take him to Dr. Mahakian's. He only sent me to Balanced Mind Center for the EEG, where they have all the facility. He didn't have the facility
I
at
see.
his office.
And are you representing to Judge Ritchie that Balanced Mind Center is competent to diagnose organic encephalopathy?
Well, it's the EEG.
I
No,
just
no,
want-
no, I'm not. That's not what I'm
Thank you.
representing to him.
In fact, they're not.
No,
Is that
but,
correct?
but Dr. Mahakian.
Thank you.
Okay,
You've answered my question. Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, see, but this is the thing.
Well,
My, Dr. Mahakian,
no, ma'am, there's no question before
he's
you.
the one who referred me for the
There's no,
testing.
we're gonna talk about
Just
Dr.
just
Mahoney.
ask your question.
Okay,
Look, you keep jumping into what you wanna say,
okay.
which is you get to do after he's done, okay?
Okay. All right. You're claiming, I have to get a little bit closer to her. I'm sorry, Danielle, but
It's okay.
um,
Do you need help?
yeah, probably.
Here, I'll hold this down for you.
Thank you. All right. Let's now get to
Let me see if I can get that.
that single page that you gave me.
Which one is that?
Here it is.
Okay.
Now, Danielle, this is the one page of what appears to be a several-page report. It says EEG report at the top, right?
Yes.
Okay. And from that, you have been saying that you believe he has this brain disease. Is that the gist of your position?
Yes.
Okay, now let's go over that. This EEG was done by Balanced Brain Center, Balanced Mind Center, right?
By a neurologist there, yes.
Okay. Now, we both agree that this substance abuse clinic is not competent.
It's not, Go ahead, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Good. Fine, thank you. There was just some things about this that I didn't understand.
okay.
have no car, right?
No, I don't.
So if, God forbid, if something happened to Dustin, emergency, whatever, you would not be able to drive him to the doctor, is that correct?
Well, I have a that's correct, not me, but there's paramedics, there's, my daughter has a car, she drove me here, she helps me out a lot, so. And, yeah, I mean, with the surgeries that I've just recently had,
There's no
not,
question before you.
okay,
Now, as a person designated for treatment, you've given a form, a consent for treatment that you gave me yesterday,
yes.
and these are not marked, so it's a little bit difficult. for
Yeah,
me.
and I'm sorry about
Well,
that.
that's all right, that's okay, I understand. Oh, here it is. Now, Danielle, I'm referring to this just so you'll know in your book.
Yeah, right here?
Yeah.
Okay,
You gave the consent for treatment of minor child
this is his pediatrician, it's a newborn.
October 29, 2015, and you list Jason
Yes,
in case you're unable to bring the child for
Uh-huh.
care. But really, Jason lives in California, so that's not going to happen.
but he
can't.
visits out here as well,
Well,
yes.
I understand. But most of the time,
He
live
doesn't
here.
need my signature for anywhere else.
You list Jessica Stevens and Pam Capello. Why didn't
Yes.
you list Kara? She does live here in Las Vegas.
Because she doesn't have no beliefs with Dustin's disabilities at all.
But wouldn't it be helpful?
Well, and she should be able to, yes,
Well,
you got a point, yes it would. I'll put her name down immediately today, absolutely. Speaking in that terms, yes. Because she visits Dustin, it makes sense.
Apart from this single page of an EEG, which we both agree
Excuse me, there was,
is not competent to diagnose brain damage. Do you have anything else for the judge?
yes, there was 2 pages of the EEG. The second page does show that it was abnormal reading. You didn't get the second page?
Okay, is this from the same substance abuse counseling center?
It's not a substance abuse counseling place.
Ma'am, you've agreed with me twice that they're not competent to
No, I
diagnose
didn't
brain
agree,
damage.
that's not what I even tried to agree with.
Okay. Where's the whole report?
This is the second page, the rest of the report,
Uh-huh,
okay? That says that this EEG is abnormal. You know, what I'm trying to say is...
Doesn't it, no, ma'am, you have plenty of time on your
Okay.
own.
Okay,
Okay, let's take a look at what you're talking about, ma'am.
okay,
On this piece of paper, I don't know what it is, to be quite honest. It says, this is a report on an EEG,
yes,
which was recorded on September 20th, 16,
mhm,
regarding Dustin.
yeah,
Reported behavioral diagnosis is attention deficit disorder and autistic disorder. Wait, is that what it
yes,
says?
yes, yes, yes,
Is
yes.
that what you're trying to present to Judge Ritchie? Is it true that he has autism?
Possibly.
Okay.
I can't say
Well-
yes and I can't say no.
Let me be a little bit more specific.
Okay,
Did you represent to this substance abuse counseling center that Dustin has autism?
I presented it to him, yes, but I did not
Thank
say
you.
that's exactly what he had. I
Well,
don't know
That's
what
what
this,
they, excuse me, ma'am, come
Okay.
on. That's what they say.
that's what
Reported.
they put down,
What do you
yes.
think they're talking about when they're talking about reported?
Okay, do you know what autism is?
Ma'am, you're not answering
Okay,
my
I'm
question.
sorry. Okay,
Who are they talking about when they say reported behavioral diagnosis is blah, 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 autistic disorder?
medical records, sir.
What medical record?
Anything that he has medically from the doctors, not necessarily from me,
Okay, well, let's talk about that.
and could possibly be me.
Can you produce one medical record from anywhere saying this little boy has autism?
Yeah, I have.
Give it to me.
Okay, I don't have it on me today.
Okay, now,
And
All
on the
right.
school records, they're the ones who said
This-
probable causes
this
autism.
single page of a report
Okay,
says, this EEG is extremely noisy and contaminated by persistent, wait for it, variable,
oops,
persistent variable high voltage EMG artifact. There's frequently, they talk about the voltage,
right,
and then they say, there do not appear to this interpreter to be any blah, blah, blah.
right.
And then they go back to say the bottom line, background activities generally very disorganized, to have been made with the patient, excuse me,
Okay,
patient probably drowsy and in stage 1 sleep.
right, yeah. I mean.
So he was Dustin drugged with clonidine when he took the EEG?
No, nothing.
Are you
Nothing at all.
aware that clonidine lowers your blood pressure?
Yeah, I am.
Are you aware that if that happens, taking an EEG would give you a false reading of whatever's going on?
He only takes it at night. And then it's not a time release either, so it's done
He takes
gone
it
through his system and out
Every day, right?
every night
Okay.
to go to sleep.
So the bottom line is, you didn't bring any evidence of any medical record pertaining to autism today, right?
Correct.
And the only alleged proof you have is this single page that we refer to, is that right? And the page behind it, which appears to be from a different provider. Is that right?
Excuse me, can you rephrase that
The
question about a different provider?
second page you're talking about is from Dr. Mahakian. It
That's
says
the one who referred?
It
Yes.
says the EG is abnormal.
Yes.
Well, of course it's
No, they were
abnormal.
both the same provider. They were both the same day, the same test, the same.
Does Mahakian work for behavioral mind control or whatever?
They work with, like Ryan, the last,
My question is simple. Does he work there?
yes, he does.
Dr. Mahakian works at behavioral, the mind center.
I guess they're all affiliated, I'll be safe.
All right. Does Dr. Mahakian say anything about autism?
He has it, he doesn't,
In this piece of paper,
no.
does Dr. Mahakian say anything about brain disorder? Take a good look.
And this particular paper, general appearance is.
No, man, you're reading something else.
No,
You're
this
reading
is,
your notes.
okay, this
I'm
says
talking
the
about-
EEG is abnormal, depending on,
Please answer my question.
Okay.
My question is, does Dr. Mahakian diagnose brain damage?
no, he didn't die.
Thank you.
That second page to the report, no.
Do you have any other reports from anywhere diagnosing him with brain damage?
No.
Ma'am, do you know the harm, do you agree with me that if a child is mislabeled with a medical condition that he doesn't have, that's extremely harmful to the child, to a child?
As well as
Would
if
you,
they do,
excuse me, would you agree with me on that?
yeah, I would.
Would you agree that if that misdiagnosis occurs, then the child would be viewed differently by the school district and the child would go on a different educational path?
That's what they should do, yes.
Now, you've complained, you've appealed the school district's IEP, right?
Yes, I have.
And we have the results in here as denied, right?
No, it's not tonight, it's under state review. I should have the results to that at the end of this month.
Okay, ma'am, do you recall that we mentioned in these exhibits the order of denial of your
It's under state
appeal?
review.
Did you see that?
There's a lot I didn't see, sir.
Okay. Well, your records stand for itself. And on page 53, you have my exhibits up there, Danielle?
You have to refer to the exhibit number.
Oh,
Mr.
I'm
Reed.
sorry. That would be Exhibit 18,
Okay.
853, page 53, Danielle. That's a fancy way of saying
Page
page.
53.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you say nobody is to do nothing without my permission. These are your communications to the school district.
Yeah, my son was falling asleep in class, something was wrong.
Danielle, I just need you to really answer the
Okay.
question. All these are your communications with the school district, right?
Yes,
Okay. When you say nobody is to do nothing without my permission, aren't you saying that unless you specifically agree,
yes.
they can do nothing for Dustin?
If it's, yes,
Okay.
yes.
And when you say you're going to put your foot up there, ASS,
I was very upset and panicking about my son and what was wrong with him.
okay.
It wasn't meant, it was a wrong, absolute wrong
Now,
choice.
Danielle, you heard me say, turn to page 70.
Okay.
Same exhibit, same
Same
exhibit.
exhibit.
Page 70, okay?
And his doctor did say that the clonidine should be modified, and this is dated January 11th, 2017.
And I followed the pediatrician.
Well, I'm just, is that right? It's January?
Yes,
Okay. Now, are you open to the possibility that the boy is falling asleep in school in your care because the dosage of clonidine is too high?
I'm open to anything to help him. I'm open to anything to try.
Well, actually, all through this whole year, you weren't open to it, right?
No, that's not true.
Well, has his dosage been modified?
Yeah, he's taken 2
Okay,
milligrams
when?
about a month ago.
Okay, well, the doctor's letter is 1/11/17. Actually, it's a prescription form.
So it would have been right about a
So
month ago. From
after
this-
March 9th, 2016, until, what, this year, about a month ago?
Yeah.
His clonidine dosage was too high, right?
No, sir. That's not what it's saying. That it is saying
All right.
we have.
You've stated your position.
Okay.
Now, on page 56, on exhibit, same exhibit,
Page 56.
yeah, same exhibit,
Okay.
from Danielle to Laura Forsberg. Laura Forsberg is the principal, right?
Yes.
You say, when he walks fast, fine motor skills as to his central nervous system has been affected from the brain damage, as I've told all.
Okay.
As
Now-
you sit here today, would it be fair to say you're absolutely convinced that this little boy has brain damage?
No, it wouldn't be fair to say that because
Well, didn't you say that in your
I'm
in your
trying to
communication?
I'm trying to find out.
Ma'am, please,
Excuse
let
me.
me finish my question.
Okay.
You can have your time.
Okay.
Didn't you say, as an affirmative statement, your belief that Dustin's central nervous system has been affected from brain damage?
Yes, it would be fair to say that. It says right here.
Are you
about his
telling
son-
Judge Ritchie that you're not firm in that belief?
I know my son has developmental delays. Yes, I know my son has weakness in his fingers.
Well, we're not
Yes,
talking about that. We're talking about brain disease.
I know that he has something that has caused this. I don't know what it is.
So you are of the opinion, as you sit here today, that Dustin has brain damage.
Yes, I am.
Did you schedule Dustin to go to therapy sessions with, I'll just call this substance abuse claim, we'll just call it BMC, right? For the,
Balanced Mind Centers.
yeah, we'll call it BMC.
He's not scheduled there no more.
Okay, but after March 9, 2016, did you schedule Dustin for, quote, therapy sessions with BMC?
Yes, I did. They
How
were
many
done at my
times a week?
home.
Well, they come to your home,
Yes, they were
What
done at my
time?
home. The neurofeedbacks.
after school, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. That's in fact what happened, but didn't you solicit BMC to issue statements excusing Dustin from school?
Because of the fact.
Did you or didn't you?
Okay, yes, I did.
And so as a result, he missed school.
Possibly. That's why I discontinued the neurofeedbacks. I couldn't say it was or wasn't, but I wanted to make sure. So I discontinued them until we in the school district could put something together for Dustin and we can all be on the same
Have you
page.
read Dustin's latest IEP?
I'm sorry?
Have you read Dustin's latest
No,
IEP?
I'm yet to receive it in the mail.
All right, well, one of his recent ones, page 175-76, said that he won't be able to handle second grade level school. Is it true that his
Yes.
grades are pretty bad now?
Well, it's not his fault.
Is that true or false?
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, is it true since March 9, 2016, he's missed a significant amount of school?
Due to his disabilities, yes. And the doctor, yes. I mean, there's
No
only so
further
much.
questions?
Okay, all right, ma'am.
Okay.
During the course of the last 2 hours, you've been basically ready to bust to explain certain things, okay?
Sorry.
So now you're at the point where, at least for the next 10, 15 minutes or so, I want you to think about the things that you wanted to explain to the court from your point of view and testify about it, okay?
Okay,
Go ahead.
okay. Now, the absence absences, they are, as you will see, all these, I don't know if I'm supposed to hand this stuff to you or not.
No, just
Okay.
testify.
His absences are a lot of his medical issues, doctor appointments, this and that. Jason, I wanted to comment on, he denied his own visit. This is a text message of his. It says, because I called him, I said, Jason, do you want to pick him up on October 28th? Because I was, that's what I thought that the court order read as I was reading it. It says, I won't be there. My pickup time was yesterday, and I sent my agent, let me know what the doctor says, because my son was very sick also. He had a fever when he woke up on October 28th. So I told him, what do you want to do? This is your day, and this is what's his response, was I won't be there. Okay. Jason has had Dustin on Thanksgiving, and he stayed in town from Thursday until Sunday. We did not know. He told me and my son, I was like, hey, do you want to take Dustin with you? He said, oh no, I got to head back. I was lucky to get these 2 days off work. He was there. My son went to stay the night with the grandfather, and Jason's truck was there when they pulled up. My son lets me know that Jason was there. I said, you mean all this time he's been here? It's not what they're portraying it to be. And with my son's disabilities, I want Jason to be involved to get to know. Carol's taken over. Carol's the one doing it all. Carol is keeping Dustin in a motel in California. Jason is not even there overnight with him. Jason's not taking none of the custody he gets. And that's where my problem lies. That's where my problem lies with Carol. That's where my problem lies with Jason. I don't mind for Carol to be involved in anything, for Jason to be involved in anything. I've told them both that it doesn't have to be a court-ordered day for you to see Dustin, or for Dustin, whichever. If Dustin wants to go, I always allow Dustin. They have had him more than what the court order is, because that's what my son asked for, or that's what they asked for. That's just the way I am. Now, the fact that Carol is taking Dustin all the time, and Jason's not even staying in California in the hotel room with them, upsets me. Because this is Dad's visiting. Why isn't Dad visiting? Why is Dad gone overnight? I mean...
Let me ask a couple basic questions, because you're using pronouns.
Okay,
Carol is the
Grandmother.
maternal grandmother.
yes,
All right, and your testimony, without any kind of context, is that you think that the child is spending time with grandma, not with dad.
yes.
How do you know that?
My son tells me.
Okay. Any other basis for that statement? I mean, other than information from your son?
No.
Okay. And your understanding or belief is that the child is not spending time with dad during his custodial time?
Correct.
All right. Where does the paternal grandmother live?
She lives here in Vegas.
Okay. Didn't the child spend 9 weeks in the summer with dad?
Yes, but mainly left to the uncle, because Jason told Dustin that he works 2 jobs.
Okay. All right, go on.
Okay.
What else do you want to tell the court?
Just that Dustin's absences and all his medical stuff, he would benefit if they would be involved and not against me and Dustin, and always trying to prove that it's not this or it's not that. I know what I've lived since this child's been born. I know what Dustin goes through. I know the humiliation. He came home after being with Jason for a week. His hair was itching real bad, real bad. I found out why. He didn't even have a bath. He didn't have his hair washed. His dad won't help him. He tells me he's being a baby.
Well, again, how do you know these things?
My son tells me.
Okay, and of course you believe.
And his hair itching. And his hair itching. I had to pour alcohol on his head and rub it in.
You mentioned something when you answered a question, Mr. Root, and I just want to give you a chance to discuss it. You said that you recently had surgeries. What was that about?
Oh, me? I had surgery. I've had 6 discs replaced in the front of my neck.
No. You don't jump off topic.
Okay, that was 11
I'm talking
months
about
ago.
since March of last year, or February of last year when this case got tried.
It was 2 weeks after the trial.
Okay, what happened?
I had 6 discs replaced in my neck, 9 screws. I have brackets. I have spacers, all done on my cervical neck area.
That was in March of 2016.
2 weeks after February. It was in February, March. I'm sorry, I get confused. It was 2 weeks after the last hearing here, I believe.
Yeah, we've had 3 or 4 hearings since the the
That's why I
trial-
get so
the
confused,
trials,
'cause we
when
have so
everybody
many-
sat here,
It was
we listened to
February,
witnesses, okay?
January,
All right, so
February.
what's your how you treat these conditions?
Well, the surgeries, so far, they've done amazing for me.
Okay,
I'm still healing. I have to go through, I'm getting ready to undergo surgery for my knee and my ankle, the same leg.
what is that for?
I've had a torn meniscus 3 times in my knee. I have osteoporosis. I have a cyst that's back behind my knee. I have to have that removed. I have to have my whole knee replaced. I've had 3 surgeries, 2 surgeries on my knee for torn meniscus.
Well, you're jumping all over the place.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna be having knee replacement and ankle surgery soon?
Yes.
When?
As soon as I get myself back into the doctor. I have the cyst on my knee right now. I had the MRI done.
So you don't have a set schedule?
I don't have a schedule yet, sir.
All right, and I mean, I assume that you brought it up for a reason. Why did you bring that up?
Just because it's been very strenuous for me. It's been very hard. The focusing, the thinking, the accuracy with the dates and stuff, that has been a little bit of an issue with the healing and stuff I've been going through. When I push myself real hard, it could discombobulate me very easily.
All right, you interrupted a couple times when we were talking about text communications between you and Dad. You wanna talk about those?
Yes. Okay. There are texts that I did do when I was angry at the spur of the moment, running out the mouth, whatever you want to call it. But them are not how the things have ended. Them are not me. Them are not how I resolve things. That's all.
Okay. Is there anything else that you wanna tell the court, about any of the facts and circumstances since the trial in February 2016?
I mean, I got a whole bunch of things at once I want to say, but then again, I think it's probably best that I say nothing, right?
Well, no, I want you to make sure that you have an opportunity to address all the issues that you think are important for the court to understand.
Dad's spending time with my son instead of the grandma taking all the visitation. Would I be able to play a recording of my son talking?
Not necessarily.
I
mean,
really
it depends on what the foundation is.
The foundation
also-
is the spending time with Dad and what the uncle done to him and what he's going through being beat up by the older kid.
I mean, is this important information?
Is this
Okay, when was this recording made?
2 weeks ago.
Okay, well, why was it not produced to Mr. Root?
I tried to have it put on a CD.
I know, but look,
I don't know the
we
rules
went
and
through a
stuff
whole,
they have here.
Stop it. We had a trial last year, and we had a build up to the trial, and we explained all this notion of notice. We went through 2 days of trial,
Yes.
and then we had a decision, and then we had a bunch of other hearings, and then we had a hearing in December, and I said, all the stuff that's important that the court needs to see needs to be exchanged, okay? So if you wanna show something to the court, I can't allow it over their objection unless you've produced it, okay?
Okay.
So if you made a recording a couple weeks ago and you think it's important, then you should have produced it. And it puts the court in a bind. I cannot allow evidence in that hasn't been properly exchanged, okay?
Okay, I understand.
Go on, what else do you wanna tell the court?
I guess that'd be it. I'm trying the best I can. I'm doing the best I can. My son, without a doubt, has disabilities. My son, without a doubt, has developmental
Well, let
delays.
me ask you this, okay?
Yes.
It's been suggested, and I remembered and reviewed some of your testimony last year, and I made findings in the court based on that testimony that someone has said that your client is autistic, that your child's autistic.
And it was a school district. It was one of their IEPs. It says the likely cause is autism.
I know, but now I have questions in my mind whether he's ever been diagnosed at all with autism.
The pediatrician, she
I know,
got
but-
him.
I know, but there's I can't find anything in any of my notes or in the exhibits or anything that would say
Okay.
that's true. Why would you say that he was autistic if you don't have a diagnosis for autism?
Well, the developmental, everything points, what they say autism is a bunch of it has developmental delays. It has,
I know, but we have diagnoses of ADHD, OCD,
right,
those kind of things. have been
everything in
documented.
one. I'm just
So
trying.
why would you tell people or file applications for disability saying that he has autism when there's nobody that's diagnosed him?
I guess you could say I'm just looking for something that he has. What's caused this? What is it? Okay, I believed it was autism up until the EEG. I seriously believed it was autism.
Do you still think that he has autism?
No, it's questionable.
Okay, what about this, this disability application based on some sort of
It's not-
brain damage?
This is just the records I have from the doctor and the EEG that was done. That's yet to be done between me and the school district. We're all gonna sit down on the same page, and we're all doing meetings, and we're gonna assess them all together.
When you look at the school records that have been admitted, everything that you say gets documented.
Yes,
And it looks to me like the school district is basically recording what you're saying is Dustin's conditions, and then taking it, running with it, or dealing with it as far as the school's concerned. Who's the gatekeeper for these comments, or these, I mean, if you say that somebody's had an injury, or that they have some sort of damage and there's no documentation for it,
right.
doesn't that affect how they treat him?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. And okay. Anything else you want to tell the court?
I'm doing my best to help my son. I just want to help him. I want him to be able to learn appropriately, and that's all I could keep doing.
You don't work a job, right?
No, I
You
don't.
receive passive income, disability income,
Yes,
and there was a judgment of over $5,000 in child support arrears that were supposed to be paid back with an extra small payment every month.
right.
Has the child support been paid pursuant to the order?
Yeah, but he's behind a little bit and has some errors, but yeah, he's been paying it up.
So he still owes you several $1,000s in support, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Down to $1,000.
Stand up, please.
Well,
Sorry.
no, don't stop, don't interrupt. I'm just saying, this is the evidence. Your lawyer does that job, okay, not you. The decision of the court made a finding in the March decision that $5,184 were in arrears, and there would be no collection as long as $39 a month were paid, okay?
Yes, sir.
So if it's been paid in any substantial amount with a tax intercept or with more than $39 payments, you're gonna tell me that before this case is closed, okay? All right, ma'am, Mr. Root, do you have any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All
Is
right.
the court interested in hearing?
I'm gonna, it's noon, so we're gonna,
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you step down, take your stuff, go back over here, and then we'll talk about what other possible evidence there is for the court to consider.
Okay.
He owes
Just be
1,000,
careful.
Your Honor.
Yeah, okay, and the offer of proof from you will be how he paid off $4,000 in a year, okay?
Yes, sir.
The most important, the essential witnesses in being able to resolve this matter are mom and dad, and we've heard their testimony. You have filed witness lists, which suggests there might be others who might offer testimony. And Mr. Root, before we adjourn for lunch, I want you to tell me how you look at your case and whether or not you're gonna ask the court to consider other witness testimony.
Your Honor,
What have you got?
Stacy Austin, Your Honor, is a teacher in California that would testify that she knows Dustin, she's confident to work with him and tutor him, and she stands ready, willing, and available to do so should there be a...
And her interaction with this child would be on dad's weekends and during the summer of
Well,
last year? I mean, how is she even gonna know?
If the court
I mean,
decides...
it's opening up a huge can of worms because this person can't possibly know all of the stuff that this child has had to deal with in school here. And what would happen is she's a lay witness, you would be asking her questions that would ask for opinions. She doesn't have any possible basis to be an expert in this case.
Yes, sir,
And
that's
your
all.
client can testify, and actually did testify, that he has this acquaintance, that this person can work with Dustin, and so it's cumulative in that way.
Yes, sir.
I certainly would agree that that type of evidence might be relevant to this best interest piece of your case, but I'm not sure it's necessary. What else?
That's it, sir.
All right. Ma'am, did you have any other witnesses that you thought about having this morning?
Yes, I have my daughter, Jessica Stevens.
All right. How old is Jessica?
She's 24.
And she lives with you?
She's in between me and her father's house. She got her dad
I mean,
who lives out here
she's an
that she's
adult.
got,
Does she live with you?
not right now, no.
Okay, and why would you want me to hear from her?
Well, just to hear about Dustin and his disabilities, that he is a child with disabilities, that's all.
Well, again, that's cumulative to your testimony, right?
Okay, yeah,
Is she around at all?
yeah,
Does she live in Nevada?
yeah,
Does she help you?
yeah,
Okay. And this is the person who would drive you around if you had an emergency or something?
yes,
Okay.
Yes, she's
Uh,
picked him up from school with me when they call me with his blood pressure, all that kind of stuff.
Well,
Whenever
this
she's available.
This testimony is cumulative to your testimony. It's not necessary for the court to resolve the
Okay.
matter. But what we need to do, I mean, this is an important piece of this case, is making an argument at the end of the case. I can take the argument now over the next half an hour and then the matter's submitted, or we can come back after lunch and you can offer a half-hour argument. Mr. Root, do you have a preference one way or the other? I mean, do you feel
As the
comfortable?
court desires,
Well, I'm just saying that if the evidence portion of the case is closed. Both Jessica, the daughter, and the friend, Stacia, what's her name again? Stacy Austin?
Yeah.
She lives in California? Okay. Their testimony, I concede, would be relevant to the issue of custody. But their testimony is cumulative to the testimony of the parties. It's not necessary for the court to hear it. And even though relevant, the court can exclude relevant testimony in the interest of time or because it's a needless presentation of evidence. The real issue that the court has to evaluate is what is the consequences of some of the breaches of the custodial order over the last year, and whether or not it's in the best interest of this child to consider a change in custody. That's what we're talking about here. And these witnesses have nothing to help the court on that particular score, or at least not materially. The court is going to do this. I know that we've been sitting here for 3 hours. If you can do it, I'd like to just forge ahead and have you make your argument. We'll recess at 12:30 and the matter will be submitted. You know that I have to give a lot of thought to the evidence that's been presented, and I will probably, I hope it's not a 20-page order, but I will probably have to explain the decision one way or the other. And so I would take a case like this under for decision. Now, obviously I could use this afternoon and maybe some time tomorrow if my trial doesn't take all day to try to get it done, but that's my plan. So Mr. Root, I know that we just concluded the evidence portion of this case, but if you can offer your closing argument,
yes, sir.
I'll hear it now, okay?
Yes, sir. And I'll try to be as direct as I can, referring the court to two exhibits. This is the third denial of visitation in a year. As the court knows, one was before, and her testimony in the February hearing was on December 4th, 2015. She did, in fact, deny Justin his visitation, and I bring that up only as a pattern. The same month that you issued the order, March 9, 2016, and March 19, after receiving the order, she deliberately denied him spring break. We went to court and found that. That's the first area of material change in circumstance. What is it? Well, first of all, her representations to you, you based your March 9th order on a reasonable matter. You reasonably concluded, based upon her testimony, and you can do that she would follow your orders, that she would not deny him visitation or interfere any longer, and that she would stop the fighting with him. Now that turned out to be untrue. And it's not only a violation of your order, it goes right to the heart of a material change in circumstance. She's not going to give him frequent contacts and associations, and she hasn't done so, which per se is material, considering my client's constitutional right, well, parents' constitutional right to children. She did it again in October. She really has no defense to either one of them, so the first block is laid, a material change in circumstance that you didn't anticipate, which goes directly to the heart of my client's ability to be there for his child. She doesn't follow orders, she's violated your orders, she's violated in two different ways, not only his contact with Dustin, but also with regard to Carol. She won't let Carol pick up the child. And for a long distance type situation, this is serious. When he tried to cure, when she didn't give him the child in October, he drove the next day, she still didn't give him the child. She trespassed the mother, so that's the first block. Another material change in circumstance is what I think the court was very concerned about in its March 9th order, but the court concluded that she would, her testimony was that she would get the child to school. That hasn't happened. You have the records now. Those records are with the court's indulgence. Deprivation of education is our second one, and the records reflecting that are Exhibit 2, Bait 5 through 7, Exhibit 4, Bait 10, Exhibit 6, Bait 14 through 15, Exhibit 9, Bait 20. As of that time, on June 2nd, he had missed 40.5 days. Exhibit 16, Bait 34 through 36, absent 44 out of 92 days. Exhibit Bait 76, Bait 78 through 70 line, he's habitually, but in any event, after March 9, 2016, he's been absent such a significant amount of time that we would argue it's actually worse than before March 9th of 2016. The point is, he's not getting an education. She has presented no evidence excusing this, and what she has presented is very concerning because she's talked about taking the child to this mind center. There is no diagnosis for organic encephalopathy or brain damage. It's lucky that she introduced a note from Dr. McCahian, and all he says is the EEG is abnormal. Nothing about brain damage. And our position would be that this mind center isn't even capable or competent to do that. But anyway, there's no evidence of that. But she believes it. And without proof or any evidence, she believes two things that we believe are false. The first thing is, this child doesn't have autism. And I pointed out the Clyde Cox record on that, and perhaps that
Where are you looking?
I'm sorry, I'm looking at, I was looking at page 175, 176. He won't be able to handle the next grade level in reading, writing, and math, page 175, 176. But perhaps I should just go through the evidence that I think is the most important. And her claim of autism is untrue. Page 52, even though there's no evidence of autism or brain damage, she says she believes it this year after March 9th, page 52. On page 52, she claims he has organic encephalopathy, which causes him to fall asleep. She's not. She's misleading the school district who hasn't fallen for it, and she's at war with the school district because there is no proof of autism or brain disease. We know from Dr. Vanburen on page 70 that what Dad believes is the clonidine, a little bit too much clonidine caused him, the boy, to fall asleep at class. And we're happy that she changed that. She didn't tell Jason she changed that. But it was a problem. And it was completely unnecessary. And we believe she's not getting this child for effective medical treatment on a timely basis. She has no car, she can't drive. Her representation allegation that she's held by her daughter, it's not being done. So we also talk about medical deprivation, because the clonidine dosage should have been lowered a long time ago. It was only our motion that caused this, we believe, to come into effect. In any event, you have the fate stamps where she refuses to allow Tomiano to work. She admitted it. Her testimony was she refused to allow Counselor Tomiano, who Dustin liked and was being helped by him, to work with him anymore. She fired him. We assert that's not good for the child. She refused, for some reason, to allow Carol to come to school to observe. She refused to allow Tomiano to observe Dustin at school while he was working with him. So we don't understand that either. She's prevented the therapists, in this manner she's prevented therapists from working with Dustin, so she's directly interfering with his education. This child is not being educated because of her. With regard to the student records, you've already heard her testimony. She admitted that she took Carol off the records as well. That's not subsiding, that's increasing. Conflict not only with my client but with Carol. Also, she doesn't agree, and she's been trying to block what the school district does with Dustin, and that's also seen. You know he doesn't have autism as per BATE 142, the school IEP. With regard to the rest of the exhibits, even though Danielle says now that she'll allow Carol, as per your court order, after all these denials, we think a truer version of her intent is Exhibit 5, page 11 through 13, where she says Carol will never pick up Dustin again. That's after March 9th. Exhibit 5, page 11 through 13. School record absences 66, Exhibit 6, page 14 through 15. Exhibit 9, and I think I went over that. Exhibit 16, 34 through 36. I think I went over that. So on those four bases, Your Honor, the rest of it is, and we don't understand this, BATE 72 was her notes excusing him for 3 days. January 17th, 18th, and 19th, 2017. That doesn't make any sense to us. Her testimony about last week going to the dentist on Friday, but then of course he wasn't in school on Thursday. Again, even up to last week, she's not getting this child to school. I mean, the obvious thing to do was try to schedule him on a dentist after 2:20 or 2:10, or when he gets out of school, but she's not doing that. With regard to the subpoenaed records from Attorney Abahara, Exhibit 23, page 124 through 138 is the IEP, saying there's no autism. Page 175, 76, he won't be able to handle second grade. We would submit it, Your Honor. Those are the parts of the evidence that I see that are important.
Ms. Tyra, the argument is sort of wrapping up or emphasizing the piece of the evidence that supports your claims or defenses.
Okay.
So what do you want to tell the court?
Okay, from the teacher, Mrs. Fava, physically and how this impacts him, we discussed as a team updates on his current proficiency levels, reading, math, and writing, and that he is below grade level. He is making progress. This is from the principal and the teacher. Ms. Fava shared that writing tends to be his least desired activity, and she wasn't sure if this was due to his fine motor issues. Ms. Tyra shared that he does have the central nervous system issues, and that can impact a lot of things, including writing. That I button his shirts. I still have to help him with getting dressed. He gets confused with things. putting on his jacket. If something goes inside out, I have to make it the right way for him, then I hand it to him. There's some physical therapy from Select Therapy he's also gonna be receiving. Now, from Ryan, the reason that Ryan was let go for a moment was because my insurance could not cover 2 people at once doing therapy in my home. The insurance wouldn't do it. So I have spoke with Ryan, and Ryan is gonna be coming back for Dustin as soon as he can. He's taken up some few other people. Now, this is a letter from Ryan to the courts here. It says
Don't do that, because you're
Okay.
referring to evidence that's not been admitted, okay?
Okay,
Just go on.
okay, well, all I can say is, you're a judge for a reason. You can see through a lot, I know that, and I'm sure that you'll make the right choice. I'm not trying to keep Dustin away from his dad or his grandma. I'm trying to invite them to help, for the right reasons, to help. That's all I can say. It will benefit Dustin if they help. That's all. There's times, I mean, the grandmother help us, not just when Dustin's with Jason, but you live here in Vegas. Help. It would help benefit Dustin in a lot of ways. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, but that'd be all I have to say.
All right. The record should reflect that I want the journal entry to state that the arguments were done at 12:20. The court will work on the findings and conclusions and orders of the court, and will notify you as soon as I can, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Help an old man.
That's right, too.
Do you want?
Is it computer screen?
What's that?
Let me turn them off again.
Wait a minute, let me get all the stuff in here. Where is that? Oh, this is the cards, yeah.
Well, we have the original.
Oh,
Five, close.
okay, you're a young man.
This book, too?
Young men can hold things.
We were in our hall, so.
Okay. All right, I know I have my, other bag now.
I have it on my shoulder. This one here?
Oh, yeah,
You want your water?
oh, yeah, thanks.
You already know, man.
I'm 60 years old.
Hey, we're the same age. I don't want to hear it.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, but you got all your hair.
I blame that on my mom.
Hi, this is County, Judge Ritchie's courtroom. Hi, yes, DJ just came and took my hard drive because it fell over and stopped working. Okay, but my question is, how do we turn off the mics without the computer working? The jabs? Well, here's my question, I'm sure it's not recording, correct, because of the hard drive? Okay, so can I assume, because all the lights are still on and everything, is it was just during closing arguments? Now, was it recording the whole time? Sure. 3G. You said it works independent? You said it works independent.
I thought it did.
Could you stop it? Thank you, and I'll let my judge know we did record the closing arguments. Oh gosh, you better erase anything bad I said. Thank you so much for your help. Okay, bye. I'm gonna go
I
tell
thought
the
it did.
judge, because he was,
I'll let it know. Because I think now that makes it available for you to print a disc on it.
that's it.
That's why I recorded.
Let it, yeah, will you let him know it did
Yeah, this
record?
actually goes through the system.
And it's my fault. You see, that's the problem with all these wires. You
Well,
know?
what's that box down there?
That's, the exhibit tabs that I saved.
You might want to move them,
Okay.
so you don't kick them into the hard drive again.
Yeah, well,
Well,
that's what happened is I scooted over to grab something went with it and it hit the,
Well, they don't have the CPUs on side stands, which like have a wider base that keep them from falling over, and they don't have them on that, so.
and then
Yeah.
all